Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and this is Lore and Theory. Today we're taking a closer look at the ironically named Prophet of Truth and his greatest and most devious of plans, and the information he knew ahead of his fellow prophets that nearly enabled him to achieve his goals. But in order to bring light to this, we need to take a quick look at the invasion of Earth. The Fleet of Sacred Consecration was the Covenant fleet under the command of High Prophet of Regret, originally composed of 13 CCS-class battlecruisers and 2 CAS-class assault carriers. After the Prophet of Regret discovered the location of the Ark portal from a Forerunner luminary unearthed in the aftermath of the Battle of Meridian, he quickly conjured a small excavation fleet to uncover it, but was unaware that the relic he sought after was located on humanity's homeworld. On October 20th, 2552, Regret's fleet arrived at Earth. His significantly outnumbered and outclassed fleet was quickly attacked by the UNSC's home fleet's 5th Fleet, consisting of 8 Marathon-class heavy cruisers and 67 Starboard-class light frigates under the command of Fleet Admiral Harper.
This is Fleet Admiral Harper. We are engaging the enemy.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the Mac gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
The Covenant fleet then deployed dozens of boarding craft at the orbital defense platforms defending the planet, in hopes of destroying a cluster with antimatter charges. They managed to destroy 2 orbital stations, the Athens and the Malta station, clearing a path for Regret's flagship, the Solemn Penance, to reach Earth. Meanwhile, the UNSC ships split into echelons, where one group of ships attacked the carriers and the second covered the cruisers. The combined firepower of Fleet Admiral Harper's fleet ensured the rapid destruction of many of Regret's ships, in spite of the numerous losses the human fleet was sustaining. The Covenant's second carrier, Day of Jubilation, staying above orbit, disabled at least one Marathon-class cruiser with an energy projector. At some point during the battle, its shields were destroyed by the home fleet's concentrated assault, allowing a pair of longsword fighters to punch a hole into the carrier's hull, thus exposing the hollow center housing the ship's reactor core. Master Chief managed to disable the Covenant bomb meant for the Cairo and threw himself and the device into the vacuum, activating it next to the core and propelling himself to safety, thus destroying the carrier. After UNSC forces in New Mombasa began to push Covenant troops back to Regret's landing zone, Regret decided to leave for Installation 05, which he located via the luminary that had revealed him the Ark portal, as well as all of the Halo rings. He proceeded with an in-atmosphere slipspace jump, with the UNSC in amber clad in hot pursuit. The battle in Earth's orbit destroyed the vast majority of Regret's fleet, whose loss was compensated by the arrival of Truth's fleet, which proceeded to invade Earth only hours afterward. It is easy to believe, based on the exchange between Regret, Truth and Mercy, that Regret stumbling upon Earth the way he did was the very first instance that the Covenant had located humanity's homeworld.
I've intercepted a secure transmission from Regret's carrier to something called High Charity. It seems to be a formal apology to the prophets of Truth and Mercy. Apparently, Regret jumped the gun when he attacked Earth. He's asking the other prophets to forgive his premature arrival, arguing that no human presence was foretold. That explains why there were so few ships in his fleet. But it's odd a prophet would have such bad intel about his enemy's homeworld. Regret's carrier just received a response from High Charity, a very well encrypted message from the Prophet of Truth. Listen to this. Your haste has jeopardized the fulfillment of our covenant, threatened our grand design. That you shall be spared a public display of our contempt is thanks only to Mercy and his wise counsel. Truth, Mercy, Regret. 3 prophet hierarchs. Killing Regret should shake up the Covenant leadership. But frankly, it sounds like you might be doing Truth a favor.
This is, however, a lie and deceptive game played at the hands of the Prophet of Truth, as Truth actually knew the location of Earth at the very least a month before Regret stumbled upon Earth. In truth, wink wink, it was likely to be longer than that. Although the exact specifics of how Truth knew of Earth's location before Regret aren't explained, it is likely that a Covenant spy probe had something to do with it. These machines have a single photo eye for data collection. Over a number of days, it slowly builds up a charge as it collects data and information. Once it reaches critical energy, a tiny sliver of thallium nitride memory crystal is ejected at the speed of light, surrounded by a miniature slipspace field. The sliver is directed towards precise slipspace coordinates, where a waiting Covenant entity will recover it and the data it contains. During the Human-Covenant War, probes were coloured dark grey so that they could blend into the hull of UNSC vessels, instead of the standard lavender colour of the Covenant alloys. A known example of the use of these probes was at the Battle of Sigma Octantis IV, where a probe was attached to the UNSC Iroquois and revealed the human presence at Reach. This culminated in the fall of Reach. It is entirely likely that just such a probe attached to a ship that eventually made its way back to Earth, thereby giving Truth the critical information he was looking for. After the Prophet of Truth discovered the location of the human homeworld, he started assembling a fleet of over 500 warships for the planned invasion of Earth. Ships scattered around the galaxy were ordered to regroup, including one group of ships that was to jump to the Lambda Serpentis system to gather tritium gas for their reactors, and then the Hawking system to meet with 36 assault carriers and effect a transfer of Seraph fighters. Finally, the fleet would be summoned to the command and control station Unyielding Hierophant, which was holding position in the Tau Ceti system in September 2552. When a sufficient amount of ships were gathered, the fleet would then make a collective jump straight to Earth. Due to Truth's devious plans for the Covenant, this fleet was commanded exclusively by the Jiralhanae and featured only a few Sangheili in its ranks, an arrangement unheard of in the Covenant before the Great Schism. For similar reasons, Truth kept the existence of this fleet, and the fact that he had discovered humanity's homeworld, secret even from his fellow hierarchs. However, Truth's plan was slowed down when a small group of human survivors from Reach and Installation 04 discovered the fleet, leading to the destruction of the Unyielding Hierophant at the hands of a team of Spartan 2s. Only a dozen ships survived the station's explosion. While Truth was rebuilding his invasion force, the Prophet of Regret, completely oblivious to Truth's plans, discovered the location of the gateway to the Ark by decrypting Forerunner artifacts. Coincidentally, this structure was located on Earth. Unaware of the human presence, Regret led a detachment of 15 ships to Earth. While he learned of humanity's presence upon arrival, he was so blinded by his religious fervour he ignored Earth's orbital defences and sped to the planet's surface, immediately deploying troops to the African city of Mombasa in search of the Forerunner artifact, while his ships fought the UNSC home fleet in orbit above him. Immediately after the Prophet of Truth learned of Regret's departure from Earth, he sent his fleet after him. The Jiralhanae in command were given orders to eliminate the Sangheili still in command of what was left of Regret's fleet and ground forces, an order they would willingly obey. While Truth's fleet was on its way, Regret was forced to retreat as UNSC forces retook the city and approached his ship, making an emergency slipspace jump in the middle of the city. Only moments later, Truth's fleet arrived, and as ordered by Truth, the Jiralhanae assumed command of the remainder of Regret's ships, battling UNSC forces within New Mombasa and briefly occupying the city. In addition, they killed any remaining Sangheili troops still stationed on or above the planet, and so began Truth's ultimate plan of ridding the Covenant of the cunning and noble elites and replacing them with the more blindly faithful brutes, while also simultaneously attempting to deliver the destruction of the heretical humans and the Great Journey in one fell swoop. To a degree, you have to admire his tactical and strategic planning and how perilously close he got to actually achieving his goals. Were it not for our own 7-foot-tall armoured killing machine, he would have succeeded.
My feet tread the path. I shall become a god.
No god can beat Master Chief.
Cloaking!
Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below. I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons: Satenchi, the Silent Cartographer, Brian, Sebastian, Defiant Alpha 117, Nathan, and Red Sea, the holders of the mantle, Darian, Ty, Black Biscuit, J Rabbit, Austin, Kaiser, and Silux, my reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Verbal Statue, Spesico, Spartan A498, Guppy, Josh, Mickey, and Bastion, my Metarchs, and all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. You guys are awesome, and this wouldn't be possible without you. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all social media channels, including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time to put into this content and other Halo-related goodness. Take it easy, everyone, and find peace in the domain.